Hey guys, it's me, Popogan. I'm back. Today, I wanted to talk to you about this incredible Elite 4-star orb offer. Just kidding, that's not why I'm here, but there's a little pop-up that showed up. Horrible deal. What I am here to talk to you guys about is Taskmaster. So I've talked a little bit about him, just a tiny bit in the videos when he was there, but I've seen him in gameplay now. I wanted to give a more official look at Taskmaster, so we'll start by looking at him in the game. I don't have him unlocked because I didn't buy the whatever $25 deal to unlock him. You know, I just don't personally see much need to do that when he's going to be in a campaign in like 7 days, and then I'll be able to unlock him. So I don't usually buy those deals. But I have taken a look at how he's been playing. I've taken a look at his kit. And from how it's appearing, he is much better than I think a lot of people originally felt he was. You know, a lot of us looked at his kit, we're like, okay, this is Kaale Khan, but for the mercenaries. But I think what we're seeing is this is just a little better than Kaale Khan in the brawlers. I mean, this is a this team kind of Rex face in Alliance War defense, and they're still very competent outside of Alliance War defense. So I want to start out in here, take a look at Taskmaster. As we can see, villain, global, skill, controller, mercenary, covert. Covert's not a permanent trait. And then we'll hop over to msf.gg and look at his full skills on there to get a better idea of how the character actually works. So here we are in msf.gg. As we can see, a lot of interesting stuff right here on his kit. So really the best part about his kit is his passive, but we'll get there a little later. His basic attack, imitating strike, attack the primary target for damage, plus steal 3 positive effects. Great basic attack right here. I mean, like stealing 3, just let that sink in. I mean, that's good. Like, that's good. It's very simple, but that's a good basic attack right there. His adaptive assault, his special, it's fine. He applies stun plus deals some damage and applies offense down. I mean, this is fine. I mean, it's cute. I mean, it's a fine skill, but nobody's really putting Taskmaster on their team for his special right here. You know, I mean, it's nice they can apply stun, but he doesn't get it to start out with, so it's not like you're gonna be getting a ton of use. That you get this 2 turns into battle, so adaptive assault's fine. Incendiary arrow is actually pretty good. He applies blind to a primary target and 2 random secondary targets. So this is pretty good because essentially it's like Hawkeye's, except you can trust it more to actually apply blind to enemies. It really is just like Hawkeye's, except more consistent, and it deals a little bit, you know, I just think the damage is a little better on here because it has a chance to deal, well, would deal bonus damage against any targets with bleed on them. So I just consider this a better Hawkeye alt right here, which is kind of interesting because, you know, Taskmaster mimics people, and this is just literally a better Hawkeye ultimate right here. What's really cool is his passive. So now we'll talk a little bit about this war defense, but I don't like talking too much about effects that are specific to modes because I don't think you're going to get a ton of use out of them, especially on Alliance War defense. Like, what does this matter to you? You're not even playing this. This is the game. This is just them putting code in for the game, really. Like, you're not even, this literally has no effect on us physically, except for the fact you have to know this if you're fighting him. But essentially what he's going to be doing is he fills speed bar for mercenary villains, but more importantly, the thing he does is on turn, if he has 2 or more mercenary villain allies, he applies taunt to the enemy with the highest damage. Unavoidable, it's pretty much guaranteed to happen, and he gains the ability to assist allies on non-attack abilities, and we'll talk more about that with the rest of his passive. But really the big gimmick there is that he's applying taunt to enemies, especially the high damaging ones. So, you know, that's nice. It sort of helps to limit your ability to protect against enemies with tanks. It really helps, especially with the fact that when you're putting Taskmaster on a team right now, you're probably going to be putting characters like Bullseye or Mercenary Sniper, and they have a ton of burst potential. So if Taskmaster gets to go put taunt on their squishy, you know, glass cannon, takes like 1 Bullseye skill, maybe Mercenary Sniper to finish them off, you can burst down somebody pretty much instantly. So that's really nice, especially, you know, say you want to go in, you try to use the Guardians of the Galaxy against you know, the mercenaries. You know, Drax goes in with a taunt on spawn, doesn't matter, Taskmaster's going to apply taunt to somebody else, you're going to be able to burst them down. I'd assume it'd probably be Rocket Raccoon that gets the taunt applied to him. So anyways, it's just some really interesting gimmick right here, something you have to keep in mind when you're going into battle with Taskmaster. Keep in mind the damage of your sort of allies, and that's something you can maybe counterpick, you know, maybe move around your team a little bit just so you know the person with the highest damage of your team is actually the tankiest. Maybe that's a little bit of a counter there. just something to keep in mind. And it's kind of hard to clear positive effect because taunt is a positive effect, so you can't clear it with negative effect removal like just, you know, that's what makes it really complicated, because you can't remove a taunt because it's a positive effect. So just a very interesting gimmick in Taskmaster's kit right there. War Machine kind of does some stuff like that too. But anyways, what's really great here is he assists on any mercenary villain ally's turn. Now of course you have to get this to the max you know, level with the tier 4 ability mats for Taskmaster, so not everyone's going to get that, but you will be able to, for most ranks, you will get a 60% chance to assist, which is still pretty good. But we're going to pretend you maxed out this ability, so you get the guaranteed assist now on each mercenary villain's turn. So that's really what makes the mercenaries work. This adds a ton of, you know, Bullseye and Mercenary Sniper already have a ton of DPS, but now you have Taskmaster hopping in every time. And what's so great about this assist, not only the damage, but when he assists, he steals 2 positive effects. So like, Taskmaster kind of crazy what he can do right there with his passive and how it synergizes into his basic attack. At least I'm assuming this effect still applies on assists, even the assist nows, because it says right here in assists. So I'm just going to assume that's how it works. I mean, that's really good that he gets a ton of extra assists. So not only is he dealing more damage, but then he's stealing a guaranteed, you know, like 2 positive effects every time he assists. So that's just incredible. A lot of positive effect clearing coming from Taskmaster just by himself. We also have some other stuff. He can block kind of well, which is kind of weird because they have the Mercenary Right Guard who kind of blocks, which is, you know, it's fine. He pretty much can guaranteed he'll counter attack as long as you have a full mercenary team, which also he gets to steal positive effects on his counter. And then he also gets plus 10% damage per skill enemy, and then 50% damage. Mercenary villain allies gain 15% damage. So kind of interesting that 10% damage per skill enemy, that's sort of how they work into his kit, the whole fact that he's mimicking them, so he's doing better than them, he's dealing more damage. But really what makes Taskmaster and the mercenary team work is the fact that he is assisting and countering a lot of the time, and on those assist and counters he's stealing positive effects. He's turning a team that already has high DPS into them having even higher DPS, so that's really why you're putting Taskmaster on the team. I really consider him a character quite similar to Ronin. You know, there's leaders like Star-Lord or Nick Fury who I think are just pretty good characters on a lot of different teams, but there's characters like Ronin who are really specifically only really super great if you're putting them with Kree. You know, I think that's sort of what we're looking at right here. Taskmaster really only is super good if you're putting him with a mercenary villain team, but he really makes that team work very similar to how Ronin works. So if you want me to gauge, you know, the value of a character, I'd really say put him at about the same level as Ronin. You can maybe even consider this better than Red Skull, because, you know, unlike Red Skull where his passive works in other modes, but like really it's only really great in Alliance War defense. You know, he's like, Taskmaster still really works in other modes. He just works even better in war defense. You know, characters like Red Skull, without that damage, the bonus damage reduction, like what is that really? Like, come on now, like Red Skull, you can do better than that in other modes. Like, you just burst down Red Skull in other modes and it's fine. So he's really only that great in Alliance War defense. You know, but I think just Taskmaster as a whole is just a better leader in a lot of different modes, and that's why I'd consider him relatively equivalent to Ronin. So let me know what you guys think about Taskmaster down below. Again, you know, Special and Ultimate aren't that great. They're fine, but they're not nothing to write home about. It's really the passive and the basic attack and the assist/counter. That's really where Taskmaster gets exciting as a character. So overall, I'd put him probably A tier, just for simply the fact that how much he does for the mercenary team, and you know, the variety of characters he can help out. But again, let me know what you would rate Taskmaster down below. And again, I always like asking, what teams are you building with Taskmaster? I'm going to ask that again because I think it's really interesting to see what teams you guys are building, simply because there's a lot of mercenaries you could be putting on him. After watching some more gameplay, I think I'm going to probably do Bullseye, Lieutenant, Mercenary Riot Guard, and Merc Sniper. I think that's my tentative team, but you know, we'll see how it all works out once I unlock Taskmaster. With that being said, I hope everyone can have a happy and healthy day, and what do I really know? I am only an 18-year-old. See you again in the next video, guys.